Hi, everybody. Father Marshall Shelley here, coming to you from St. Peter's Episcopal Church. It's time for the Rector's Vlog, the weekly update, and also for the Word of the Week. So I'll get to the Word of the Week right away because it ties into the whole focus of what's coming up in the mission and ministry of St. Peter's in the coming weeks and months. And the answer of that particular question you're all wondering about is the word calling. There it is on the screen before you. Make sure that gets into the edit. The thing about calling is twofold. The first is it's something, of course, that we answer. The phone rings, someone is calling, so we answer it. Do we speak to them? At the same time, also, it can be something that we feel called to, an activity, a commitment towards a vocation, a profession, a way of doing something, or a way of being with other people in which we feel that that's the place where we're headed, that sense of feeling a direction, feeling a pull. When I was a kid, I grew up in a family where my two grandfathers, one was a musician, and that was his calling. He loved to play the piano. He loved jazz bass. He loved playing the organ in church and introduced me to music, both in the ecclesiastical and in the secular sense. That was a calling that he felt. He found in himself and in the answering of the journey of his soul that rootedness in music. My other grandfather was a funeral director, and he had a calling in that to work with not only people who had died, but also to care for their families in community, and spent his entire adult life either aiming towards that sense of calling and struggling to attain it, or living within it. And of course, as you can see from the collar around my neck, I also answered a calling to the priesthood. My parents, though, answered callings to teach. My sister answered a calling to work in higher ed and to now work in nonprofit fundraising for foundations that better the world. My wife herself has a calling in the theater, and then after that calling grew and changed, she's now working as a chief administrative officer in a company that helps adults with disabilities. My church has a calling to serve the community. We have a shop that could be seen in a bald-faced sense as a thrift shop. We're seeking to profit from things that people are donating or casting up, but really what we're doing is we're redistributing goods to the community, and we're doing that at such a price that folks that can't afford to buy those things new can find them here, sorted through and picked out and made sure that we offer the best to them in such a way that they can make good use of them. So we even have volunteers who feel a calling to help with that. You can keep going on and on about this on what a calling is. The core of this is understanding that when we answer a calling in life, we're also applying ourselves to the discipline of meaning. We can have a calling to be in church. We can have a calling to be worshiping and serving as a part of a congregation. We can have a calling to help people in need, but until we react to that calling with the discipline to get up and follow, to work within that context, we're going to struggle. And part of Christian community, part of faith community, is figuring out ways we can support each other in that sense of calling, to find a common work together in that unique thing that each one of us is offered up and called to do by God, each one of us a unique vessel of grace, and yet all of us combined to form a community in which that grace can be exercised. I was told at an early age that if I wanted to find my vocation, it would be the thing that I loved to do. And if I was very, very lucky, I'd find a way to be compensated and supported in my life in that. I've been blessed to be able to do that in the church for many years. But I also know that even if I hadn't been able to follow that calling, I would have had to have found a way to express it, because I grew up with people who were bound by their own sense of vocation and calling and had to find their way in it, and provided that example, but also that standard. And I'm blessed to be in relationship with folks to this day who continue to respond to a sense of calling. We're doing that at St. Peter's. And on Saturday, the men's breakfast is getting together. On Sunday, we're continuing to gather and worship and fellowship. As the week turns, the shop is opening with its fall offerings being presented. We're even starting to get ready for Halloween in our holiday section, so you can be prepared for that. We're continuing to prepare meals and to prepare food offered to others. We just had the person who is the coordinator of acquisitions for our our community, our Alice's Cup Food Pantry. Sorry, I'm stumbling today because I'm enthusiastic about this. Alice's Cup Food Pantry. We're getting ready on September 24th to have an occasion called Stuff the Bus, where we're working with local churches in the community and with our local ShopRite to ensure that we have enough supplies in place for the fall so that people who are hungry can find food to eat. As well, we're working with the government and at the state level and at the federal level in our soup kitchen to provide meals and support to local restaurants as they offer meals to us to be able to distribute to the poor on Wednesday evenings when we do our community supper. So you can see there are so many people that with their individual callings combined to create this incredible gestalt, this incredible mix of what it means to be a whole body answering the call of God to love the world in the name of the one who saves and redeems us all. So I invite you to ponder the ways that you are answering a calling and also how you're engaging in the discipline to answer that call so that you also can bear fruit in the kingdom so that others may be fed and supported on their journey. So take care. God bless. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Let us know what's happening in your life as well in the comments below. And if there's a way that we can welcome you home to St. Peter's, don't be afraid to ask. We're happy to offer it up. We look forward to the transformation that you bring into our lives as we share that sense of calling to walk before God together in community. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye now. And remember, the word for the week is calling.